Here's an AMI This Week shortcut with Beth Deer. Birthing blind.
Mental health can affect our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. It affects how we think, how we feel, and how we behave. It can also change over time, which is why it's important to make a priority in our everyday lives. Mine definitely has during my pregnancy, and that's why I'm speaking to psychiatrist Dr. Ginny Duff, who is also a visually impaired mother and completely understands what I'm going to be going through in the future.
You know, this is a huge change in your life and a huge transition, and it's going to have a lot of mental health repercussions, I guess. And, you know, we all worry about, are we up to the task? And it involves giving up a lot of ourselves.
Ginny, I am so excited for this pregnancy, but it's definitely come with like a lot of fear and apprehension. Is this common?
I think that's really common, where most of us are used to feeling like we can trust our bodies to do the right things, and then all of a sudden it feels like your body isn't your body anymore. This little being inside is sort of taking over and making your body do weird things. You're used to being able to go out when you want to, and you have to be changing your perspective that you aren't number one anymore. This little being inside of you is number one, and so you have to look after your physiology, and once that baby comes home, it changes your life forever. So it's quite a big transition.
So what are some ways that I can keep up with my mental health during my pregnancy?
So, you know, interestingly, we always suggest exercise, right? So if exercise is suddenly not such a possibility, I mean, I would still continue to get what exercise you can, like going for walks. You know, if you're working, take time for yourself and relax. Make sure you get lots of sleep, eat well. I think also being connected with other women who are in the same stage as you is really a good thing. I got connected with a new mothers group right after my son was born, and that was actually fantastic.
I've read a lot about postpartum and how prevalent it can be. What are some strategies for coping with postpartum depression?
I think really the important thing is to catch it early. If you're really finding yourself negative all the time, crying all the time, for more than for a couple of weeks, I would be calling your family doctor and connecting with them. But I think asking for help right away and not thinking that you're the only person in the world with this problem is really very important.
So, as I mentioned off the top, you're not only a psychiatrist, but you're also a visually impaired mother. Do you have any kind of tips or tricks for me that might help in my upcoming journey?
I mean, my son, once he got out of his strollers and was walking home from school, there was an absolutely hard and fixed rule that he had to hold my hand, and there was no breaking that rule. And interestingly enough, he broke all sorts of other rules, I have to say, but he didn't ever break that one. And I think that was because I was so clear. And when we were standing at the bus stop, I remember that it felt kind of artificial that there we were standing, holding hands. And so the deal I made with him then is he had to step on my toe. So he could let go of my hand, but he had his foot was on my toe. And so I always knew exactly where he was.
Ginny, thank you so much for your tips and advice. This conversation has definitely made me feel more assured that this is something I'm going to be able to do.
If you are a capable blind person, you're perfectly capable of being a capable blind parent. And there are lots of us who have done it safely. And so, all the rules that apply to your own safety apply to being a parent.